All right, where are we? We are in the weekend round of the Eastern Odyssey tournament. We're in the rookie division. It is Sunday at, I got 4 hours and 11 minutes. I've got two accounts. I've got my main account, my practice account. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to my practice account, but it was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Cooked all day and barbecued for everybody. Came over to my house and made all kinds of stuff. Now we're all fed and everybody's gone and house is clean and ready to play one round. So let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Let's go check it out. Hole number one, just get it fresh in my mind. All right. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. I have no idea what's at the top. Don't want to know. I came in with a 29. I am 100% positive that I'm going to have to shoot better than a 30 to have any shot at a banner. So, like, my goal going in is 31 plus. Whether I can achieve that goal or not, it's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother conversation. But that is the goal, is to shoot better than 30. And the highest I've got all week is a 29, and I missed a freaking putt. I missed a putt on one of those holes, 5. I missed a putt on 5. Being short of a 30, so that's where I'm at so far this week. Let's get my grid going. Get my grid. Let's see, which way's the wind blowing? That wind's not helping or hurting us. I'm going to take a 3 power ball with 5 side spin, and it seems like I have a 3 power ball that's got backspin boost, and that's the one that I want. I really didn't buy it for the backspin boost. I bought it for the 5 side spin. That's the one. That's the beast. And I'm taking an APOC. An APOC. Now, the shot to the cup with a Kingfisher. I believe I'm at max club, which is 1.1, and I was adding on 10%. So those two balance each other out. So I'm plus 0, plus 0.1. So I'm going to do whatever the wind is, plus 0.1, and it'll be in the hole. In the hole. Let's go. Let's go. Whatever the wind is, plus 0.1. If this is definitely, there's a lot of holes in this course that are definitely one shot at a time. You got to hit your drive. And if you can get yourself into the right spot. Now, what I was doing was all of the side spin and however much top spin I can get on. No more than 4. Like with tailwind, 4.5, I shot too far. But I think with this side wind, almost headwind that we're going to have here, I think I could probably balance it out and go 4.5, 4.5. 4.5 side spin, 4.5 top. But the side spin's important because it's a max overpower shot and you really need to hit it perfect. You don't have a lot of room on the left. Not unless you pinch it up on the drive on this first landing zone down here. So there's 4.5. I'm going to go 4.5, 4.5. I want to get up into that area. Give myself enough room for a great 3.3, and I'm going to add on 10%, so that's 3.6. It's about 2.5 rings. It's 1.5 per ring, so 2.5 rings, and that puts me half a ring into power. Hit it 1 ring great on the inside. Just enough room. Uh-oh. But that's good. It's slow down, ball. Slow down. Whoa. Go down, cat daddy. The 1 ring great to the right is tight because you're looking at the first bounce to make sure you can clear the first bounce and that you gave yourself enough room. You don't clip the rough right there by the sand trap. But if you hit a 1 ring great to the right, it opens the field up, and so then you're in the clear, and it's just a matter of whether or not you put on too much topspin. If you hit a 1 ring great to the left, the first bounce isn't a problem, but the second bounce, now you put the rock into play, and sometimes you can bounce off that rock, and sometimes it doesn't work out. All right, straight up. All I got to do is hit this perfect. Plus 0.1. All I got to do is hit it perfect. 3.6. Now let's try and set the shot up. That might be helpful. 2 backspin. Let's get up on it. Let's make sure we got enough distance to get to the hole with a headwind. 3.6 rings. They're lined up with the wind. There's 3, 6. Hitting it perfect. Dead center perfect. Get in the hole. Have enough legs. Have enough legs. Woo! In the hole. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. Picking up one. This is definitely not my cup of tea rough bump. You have no room. If you hit to the left, like look where their second bounce is. You hit to the left, you take the risk of not getting out of the rough. You're deeper into the rough and you won't get the bounce that you're looking for, and that second bounce is really close to the rough and now it hits the rough and you're in the rough. And if you hit it great to the right, you miss the rough. And the most important part of a rough bump is hitting the rough. See how it did that second one? Now that's not bad. At least they rolled out. That's a pretty easy chip to make, but man, it's risky there. Risky. Good luck in the tournament. All right, hole number 2. Hole number 2. Now I haven't made this freaking hole all week. I made it during the scouting report. This wind is good for us. And I'm taking a Goliath. What bag is this? What bag am I taking? I have a bag with a Goliath in it. It's bag number 4, and you need a katana. A katana. Here, I can pick my ball right here. What am I thinking? I got to remember about this. A katana, and that's the only. I do have a low wind 2-power ball, but it's not 3 side spin, and you need the 3 side spin. Now, I'm doing plus 30 at mid, and I was doing 2.3, and I went and looked at the numbers in Golf Class Notebook, and it should be 2.2 with a katana. So I'm going to do 2.2. So it's 1.3 times whatever the wind is, divided by 2.2 per ring, straight up. So I got my numbers punched in my calculator. All I got to do is put in the wind, and we are off to the races. Let's see if I can get a hole-in-one here. I got a hole-in-one in the I was playing the holes during the scouting report, and there's some of these holes, these Shang Fang, whatever the hell the name of this course is. I couldn't remember them. The Kohong Resort ones I got down. I've played them enough, but I couldn't remember the other holes. So I went out and during the scouting report and I practiced them just to remind myself of what they look like. I wasn't getting it from the picture, but as soon as I got on the course, it was like, oh yeah. And I made it. There's 2 of them. I made an Albie during the scouting report, and I haven't made an Albie since. So today's the day. I'm going to make an Albie today. I got that going for me. Let's just hit perfects all day. I haven't hit a lot of perfects in the rounds, and the ones that I've hit perfect have gone in, but I'm right there. I feel like my numbers are really good. It's 5 top spin and 3 side spin. I feel like my numbers are pretty good, but I just haven't hit a lot of perfects. Let's start off on the left-hand edge of the cup. 4.1, 2.42 rings. There's 2, 4. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Damn, that was a mile off. Like I should have did 500%. I did 30%. I should have did like 40 on that. Or I should have hit it at max club instead of mid. Let's see where it's out on the front, because I'm gonna make a note here. On back. And it depends on which way the wind's blowing. If the wind's coming in from the water where you got to pull towards the edge there, then you're kind of in a situation because you can't pull over that edge. You get into it's a bad deal. So we'll have to see. But on the back, I'm going to make a massive pull if the wind's blowing favorable. At least if the wind's blowing so that I don't have to involve that water. But if we get a headwind like we got right there, I'm going to make a bigger adjustment because that is bullshit. Bullshit. And I even pulled at 2.2 per ring, and I've been pulling at 2.2, so that's even a bigger pull than what I've been pulling, and I was way off. I mean, that was more than 10% off. All right, this hole right here is a hole that I really would like to get an albie on. This is the hole that I got the albie on during the scouting report. And this is one of those holes, I mean, all of these par 5s, there's a few par 5s in the game I can think of, like the Island par 5. There's a couple par 5s I can think of that, like, you have to get an albie. Like, you have to get an albie. But these holes right here, you got a great opportunity to get an albie, but I don't always get them. But today is the day. All right, which way's the wind blowing? That one's favorable. All right, I'm taking my number. Because in this account, so if you've got anything less than a level 7 big topper, it doesn't have its distance. So at 225, I'm pulling back from the red line in order to bounce over with my extra mile. And with a big topper, I'm right at my red line. And so I'm right in the same spot, and I've got more topspin. So a big topper works better. But if you've got a lower developed big topper, your extra mile will work better because whichever one has the most topspin. So if you like a level 5 big topper, although it hits farther back, it has 100 topspin versus whatever your extra mile may have at that point, unless you've got a maxed out one. But if you got a maxed out extra mile, it's better. It just depends. It just depends. Extra mile, sniper, and I'm taking a Kingmaker. Kingmaker. Let's look at my level 3s. I really want to make this shot. Really want to make it. I'm taking that ball. I'm taking it. I really want to get an albie on this hole. Really need to hit it in perfect. All right, number 3 bag. And this is definitely a one shot at a time. You got to hit the first shot perfect. You need to set it up right. I see a lot of people that at the end of their shot, they drift off into they were perfect, but at the very end, it wants to drift off to the right. And it's just because of the way that the course is shaped, and they end up rolling off into the rough. And you really need to set the shot up right. So if you follow my ball guide all the way out, it's running into the rough out there, but I'm opening up the fairway to the left. 3.6, I'm doing 10%. It hits the same as my extra mile, so that's right around 4. So that's about 2 rings. A little teeny short. And then I'll put curl on it to bring it back to the left-hand side. Hitting it perfect. And where it's critical is right there, that first bounce, making sure I didn't curl it too much. And you see how it drifts off to the right. So if I just aimed out there in the middle, and then it starts to drift off at the very end, it's steeper towards the rough, so it tends to want to go a little bit faster, and you'll be just barely in the rough. But if you set the shot up more to the right, and then you can put that little bit of curl on there, it gives you that leeway. Got to give yourself enough room for the curl to become effective. Give yourself room for that. Otherwise, if you put it right down the middle and you put that curl on there, the first bounce will clip the rough. It'll bleed out. It typically will bleed out into the fairway, but you'll clip the rough. And you can't do what my opponent's doing and try and pound it out there and get way the hell down there, but you really don't have to do that. You got a great snipe. Now, they should be in long iron, but I got a sniper rough bump if they can clear that right there. See how it wanted to, it kept tailing off to the right. And you can recover from that spot, but all right, I'm doing a straight up 1-to-1 minus 0.1, so I'm doing 2 miles per hour. Two rings. Hitting it dead center perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Come on, 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 come on. Ah. And I took off one and it still overpulled it. Ah. 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 Oh. No, nice shot would have been in the hole. That was just a shot. That's the shot that I set myself up for. And damn it. And I would do, and your Nirvana, their Nirvana might have enough. I have to go back and look at, I haven't been paying attention to how much topspin I've been putting on, but you might be able to get up there with a Nirvana. I was like 2 rings into the rough. And I think I would still try and rough bump it. If I had enough topspin, I would still try and rough bump it with my Nirvana. I feel like that might be the way to go. They got to be in the 2 per ring range. So that's like a ring. 2.6 divided by 2 is 1.3 rings. Hey. Wow, they did like 175, or they did that was quite a pull. So if they hit it perfect, I think they over pulled it and it's going to hit to the right. Come on. Get lucky. Yeah, they over pulled it. Over pulled it. Good game. Good game. Neither one of us got what we were looking for, but we gave it the old college tries. At least we had perfects going into the cup. I cheated with the precision ball, but hey, they sell them. That's the deal. I haven't used any of them up to this point. I've been saving. I save those usually for the weekend round. That's try and maximize my use of them. It always cracks me up when you're playing one-on-one and you see people out there and they're burning balls like that. And it's like, dude, I would forfeit this game to get with that ball. I'll give you the gems. I'll just give them to you. I know Playdemic would never allow you to do that because, like, you may hook up with somebody you know and you give them a ball. Oh my gosh, it'd be the end of the world. You may hook up with somebody you know and you may let them win a couple games. That's why they only allow you to match up 3 times. It used to be you could, if you matched up with somebody, you could replay them as many times as they wanted to replay you. Now you can only do it 3 times and you're done. All right, hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Okay, it's Grizzly Nav, 4 backspin. All right, this is the one that's straight up at it. Let's look at it. Let's just gander at it and see which way the wind's blowing. All right, I'm taking a... hold on. My wife just texted me. I need to text her back. All right. What am I doing on hole number 4? Hole number 4, I've got Grizzly Navigator. Grizzly Navigator. Nav. I'm doing 4 backspin, 1 per ring, plus 15%, plus 0.1. 1.1, hey, I got too much math here. 1.15 times whatever the wind is, divided by 1 plus 0.1. All right, 4 backspin. Grizzly Navigator. No side spin. No side spin. 4 backspin. Hit it perfect, goes in the hole. And we're going to hit it perfect right here, right now. I didn't bring a putter. I forgot my putter at the house. I didn't even bring a putter with me today. I've been using my 1-iron to make those putts that I had to make so far, so. Yup, if I can get an opponent. That's a big if. Got an opponent. All right, let's type in the wind first. The wind first. If I can get out on the course. 4.7 rings, 4 backspin. No side spin. Get right up on it. Let's make sure we're in the hole. 4.7 rings. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah! Ah! That is right there. I think I would have either missed it on the other side, or I would have I had the right speed and it might have swirled in, but that would have been close. Damn, that would have been close. Arrgh. That's a great opportunity lost right there on a not perfect. And this next hole drives me fucking batshit crazy. It's like I'm just always off. I saw an opponent the other day come out in this hole, and they used the 5-power ball, and they instead of bouncing it over and then trying to take it up to the shadow, they did a max curl. They did a blind curl shot, max OP blind curl shot. And they overshot it. They hit the fairway and they rolled out like they wanted, but they either put on too much topspin or they didn't give themselves enough room, and they had too much curl. They could have set it up so that the curl could have worked, or they could have cut the topspin down so they wouldn't have rolled off, but they ended up in the rough. They had a very easy recovery shot. They were in max nirvana, so they were in long iron range for the second shot. It's definitely risky. I don't think I've ever really tried it, because the first bounce is a fairly tight landing area. You really need to hit an overpower shot perfect every time. If you don't hit it perfect, you're screwed. But it was a beautiful looking shot. Beautiful. So what they did was, I'm trying to, where's my pen? I'm bouncing over from here. I'm trying to pinch on this side, but I'm coming in with some curl so that even if I hit a grade to the right, it's still going to the left, and trying to bring myself up to the shadow, give myself as much room on the left as possible. They started off on this side. They came over and started off up here with a max overpower shot and came around, and they ended up in the rough over here. And it tailed off into the rough. So they could have kept it up and been in like this zone, which I'm sure would have been long iron range. But I'm not so sure if you got all the way to the front with a 5-power ball that you might not be in short iron range, which would have been superior. But it was definitely a risky ass shot, because this area right here is humped. And so you can get, if you hit down close to the sand over here on the fairway, your bounce is going to be totally different than you hit in the center where the hump is at. It's definitely a shot. I think maybe the next time we play this tournament, I'm gonna try that, because it is a risky way to go at it. But hell, if I can get up there in short iron range, that might be worth it. But today, I'm gonna take my number 2 bag and a kingmaker, heartbreaker, and I'm going to make an Albie right here, right now, and I'm gonna do Jesus. If I take wind off, I feel like I need to add wind. If I add wind, I feel like I did need to do nothing, and it's just like I'm running around chasing my tail. Every move I make, it seems like I should have did what I did the time before, and what I did the time before, I didn't work, and I should have did what I did, and it's in a constant circular pattern. But sometimes it goes in, and this is one of those times right now. I think what I'm doing is I'm getting up there. I need to actually pull back and run a little bit more topspin so that I can let it. I have no idea. My hopes of getting an Albie here are not really high, but I really would like to get an Albie here. I really, 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 really would. All right. Max side spin and about 4 top spin. Maybe 4 and a titch. I want to give myself 3 rings of separation, and I want to start it off so that I'm giving myself as much room on the left-hand side as possible. .1, so I'm going to do 3, 3. There's 3, 2.5, 3, 3. Some curl. Hitting it perfect. I'm just trying to get up to the shadow. There we go. I've been putting 4 tops in. I put that little teeny extra on there, and that got me into the shadow. But you can see how close that second bounce was. Like I almost over curled it. And that was like a tick and a half. You could set this shot up for a blind curl. And what you do is I'd be 4 rings of separation off of that, and you could do max curl. It might be 5 rings. You could set it up. You could go out there 1 or 2 times. You go out there the first time and you set it up, and you decide whether you want to be tight or you want to be 5 rings off, or just take the big swing at it. And then it'll tell you, like, if you hit it, if you pull off 5 rings and then you end up in the sand or the rough on the right, you need to pull to the left. You need to give yourself 4 rings. If you do 4 rings and you end up too close to the sand on the left, then you need to pull out another ring. So it only takes 1, possibly 2 times of doing it, and you can figure out what adjustment you need to make. I'm going to do 4.1 rings, 1 backspin. .1 rings. There's 4, 1. Getting it perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Let's get an Albie. Get in the hole. Right there, I needed to do like 10%. Times 1.1. Let's see, that was with 5%. So I probably needed to do 15%, because that was like where I was at right there. That was 4.1. Let's do 15. That would have been 4.48. Almost 4.5. So 4/10. That seems like it would have been too much. Oh, that was 15. So 10 would have been 4.3. And that might not have been enough. Maybe 12.5. I'm going to write that down. Fuck it. That's what I'm doing on the back. I'm doing plus 12.5% to the cup. That's a number I haven't tried so far. Let's do something different. And I like where I was at. I was a little bit further forward, so I didn't have to put any topspin on. Usually when you can come into a hole like that and you can put on even just a little bit of backspin, you got much better, because when it hits the ball, you're controlling the ball a lot more as far as the rollout goes when you're using backspin, and it usually rolls out a lot truer. Like when you're putting on topspin, now you're really kind of involving yourself with the course, and it can get caught up in the course, and you can hit an undulation and it can pick up some speed and it can do stuff. But when you put on backspin, it usually rolls out a lot truer. And so I do like being a little bit farther forward on that drive, because I do like coming in at it with backspin. But if I would have had a headwind, I would have had to pull back from the red line and still ran some topspin. So, all right. Okay, those were the stretch of holes that I was iffy on. So hole number 6, we have to make this. Like, this isn't an option. We have to make this hole. Like, no bow to doubt it. And I'm using a... Now, here's the deal. I've been using 4 power balls with topspin boost. And I'm not necessarily sure I need to use the topspin boost. I think I might just be able to do it with just a regular 4 power ball. I mean, you can do it with a 3 power ball if you got overpower. But I think just a regular 4 power ball. What do we got here? Precision 5. Well, it's kind of a waste of a precision ball. Could use a dead ball. I'm going to use a dead ball. Because I really think with the 4 power topspin boost ball, I've been putting on 1 extra topspin, and you can get in a little bit of trouble with a tailwind. So I think just a regular 4 power ball. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way to go. I'm taking bag number 1. And I wrote it down here. Plus 10%. I'm not putting any of the wind back. I was putting like a quarter of the ring back, a quarter of the wind back, like a quarter ring of wind back, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, 3.4. There's 3.1 and a little. I'm going to bring it back to the cup. Hitting it perfect. I'd like to be a little closer, but that is fine. That's perfect. I'd like to be right on the fringe, but I can live with that. The wind is still a factor from that distance, the way that this course is working, but the wind's blowing with us, so we're going to have wind straight to the cup. So I'm not going to have to worry too much about the wind. But if you're out in that distance right there and you got a big side wind, the wind is a factor. It's kind of like half. So if you got a 4-mile-an-hour wind, it's pretty much affecting it like a 2-mile-an-hour wind, but it's still affecting it. And so you have to hit it. You really want to hit it perfect. You really do. But here we got pure tailwind right straight to the freaking cup. Let's make sure we're through the cup. Get one ring great to the left. And it should be in the hole. All right. Had to get that one. And I still got to get one more just to get to minus 15. I mean, that's like the minimum round that you want. Because you got to pick up something somewhere else. You got to get a little bit of luck somewhere else to pick up that one extra shot to get you to 31. But you've got to come in with a minus 15. You got to shoot. You got to pick up 3 on a side, and you have to pick this hole up. So you got to pick up 2 other ones somewhere. I feel like my absolute best opportunities are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm through the area. 5 is my... I'm still wishy-washy on 5. And hole number 9, I feel like being risky on hole number 9 depending on which way the wind's going, because there is a horizon rough bump that you can do there. There is. All right, back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. We got that one. And there's no woohoo on that. You have to get that hole. So that's the way that works. Hole number 7. Let's look at it. Let's gander at hole number 7. Sniper nav, max backspin, plus 40. And I've hit the flagpole once this week, and I've been right on top of it. All right. Which way's the wind blowing? That wind is, okay. Okay. Let's take a sniper and let's take a navigator. 1 per ring. Down close. I really want to get this. I'm going to bring one of these 5 precision balls. I really want to get this. I want to max. I want to, this, really want to get this. 1 per ring. 1.4 times, whatever the wind is. If we can get out on the course. If. That's a big if. 2.6, 3.64 rings. Max backspin, no side spin. Okay, 3.64 rings. Okay, there's the 6-4. There's 1, 2, 3, 6, 4. Hitting it perfect. I'm glad I had a precision ball on that one because that would have definitely been a great. Woo! In the hole. That's what I'm talking about. I've hit the flagpole on this one and I've been like all over this hole, but I haven't made it this week till now. So got that going for me. All right, hole number 8 is a great opportunity to pick a shot up. And I got a plan for hole number 8. I'm using a 5 power ball regardless. I'm pulling back to the plus 23 mark. Putting on 2.5 top spin. Plus 10 on the drive. And then it's 1-to-1 plus 0.1 to the cup with a Kingfisher. It's once again, it's at max club and I'm doing a 10%, so it balances out. So it's just 1-to-1. It's whatever the wind is plus 1, plus 0.1. And I've been, when I've hit it perfect, it's gone in the hole. When I haven't hit it perfect, it's right off the hole. All right. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. All right, that wind is okay. Let's pick a ball. Power 5. We're in the power range. Power 5. What are my power 5? I can't remember which power. Was I using a Zerk? I think I was using a Zerk. I think that was my best option. Really don't want to waste any of the top spin boost balls, and most of the 5 power balls I have top spin boost, and that's part of the reason why I bought them. But could cut the wind down just a bit with that one and burn one of those. All right, you talked me into it. Let's look at it. I want to look at the hole just one time just so I can make sure I'm on track. All right, my red line's up in here and I'm pulling back to the plus 23. I'm centering my ring set in between this rough and where the red line is so that I have room to work out wind. And then it's 2.5 top spin. Which way's the wind blowing again? That wind is going to be absolutely, if we hit perfect, going to the cup. Like that wind's, because we're hitting out into this zone, so this wind's going to be going pretty much due tailwind on our second shot. All right, hold on. I'm using an APOC. Let's make sure I got that picked. Bag number 5. Bag number 5. And I'm using the APOC because it's got that extra 3 yards of distance. So like the landing zone there, especially if you're using a 3 power ball, you got a very, very small window with a 3 power ball. And the APOC gives you a little bit bigger window. All right, if I can get an opponent. I need a drink. That must be one of Denner's accounts. Denner's been working on his house, so he kind of took the week off, and he's been focused on getting his house ready, and he's trying to sell his house, so he's working on some stuff and packing up and trying to get it out on the market. 4-2. You can see what kind of window that they have there. Very, very little with an extra mile. And so with an APOC, you do have a little bit, you do have a little teeny window. And you don't have to do any overpower. This is one of those shots that you want to be consistent on the landing zone down on the end, because it is a great opportunity to pick up an eagle. And it's easy to overshoot it when you do overpower. With this kind of wind, it's not so bad, but with tailwind, it's easy to overshoot it. Plus 23 mark. 2.5 topspin. 2.5 topspin. I think a couple side spins. Good. Now I need all the side spin. 2.5. 2.5 topspin. Plus 23 mark. 3.9. It's 1.5 per ring. Yeah, let's get lined up with the damn wind. There's 3. I'm going to do almost 3 rings. And then I'm going to lean just a little to the left. And hit it great to the left, or excuse me, great to the right. I think I'm all right. I think I have enough room down here. What I'd like to do is when it turns to look at the cup, I want to be past that tall grass. Not that the tall grass is in the way, but I'm trying to get past the sand. And so I'm past the sand, but I'm not quite as far enough past the sand as where I'd really like to be. But I'm still in a great shot. I'm still in the same part of my club. I'm in max club. Plus 0.1. 1-to-1, plus 0.1, hit it perfect, goes in the gut. Goes in the hole. Just need to hit it perfect. All right, I'm going to do 3.1. And you can see I'm right there, right at it. .1 rings. Here's 3, 1. Ah! I was going a little bit too fast. I think I might have bounced off the flagpole if I'd hit it perfect. That tailwind was pushing me, and I got right up there on it because my red line, where my red line was, I needed to be just a little bit farther forward to give myself a little bit of a window. I haven't been having to put so much spin on it. Damn it. That's a great opportunity lost right there. All right, you sumbitch. Hole number 9. Now, what's funny is the very first time I ever played hole number 9, I sank it. And I think I've sank it maybe once since, but it's definitely one of those holes that I haven't. Which way's the wind blowing? All right, that wind works for us. Now, here's the questionable part. Let me look at the hole. Let me think about what I'm going to do here, because there is a risky shot that you can take on this. Where, okay, this is definitely one shot at a time. There's a shadow right here, and then you can't really see it because this tree's sticking out, but there's a shadow on the other side, and the fairway goes like this. So there's a window right up in this area, and I really want to get underneath of this tree right to the edge of the front shadow that you can't see. And if you're in that range, it's a big difference as far as distance. So like normally if you're hitting out here, you can see this area right here where you're past this part of the shadow, this shadow right here, and you're like in this zone, versus if you're up here right on the edge of the front shadow, this distance difference, there is a rough bump that you can do from right here. So if you bring a 3 power ball, you really need to be up here in order to have the window to get to that spot. Now if you bring a Horizon, it is a long hitting wood, and it helps you kind of get in here because it does hit farther than your sniper, but you really need to get the distance. So you got to execute the drive so that you can get to the spot that you're trying to hit on the second shot. Otherwise, you're going to have to pull it off here to the right, or excuse me, the left, and then just go at it. It's not that you can't do that, but ideally, if you can get up into this zone, with a sniper, you can get in front of this. You can really help yourself out if you're using a sniper and you're not doing the rough bump. You can get in front of this right here, and you've got, instead of having to negotiate this where you're a couple rings off and then you got to side spin it to bring it back to the cup, you can go straight at it. So it is worth bringing out a bigger ball just to make sure that even if you don't get the full distance here, you can set your shot up a little bit better on this side and not have to negotiate with this little peninsula. But if you bring out a Horizon, you can set yourself up for the rough bump that's right here. Now, if my Horizon hits, where are my numbers for my Horizon? It's 2.2 per ring at max club. So I'm going to bring a Horizon because I'm going to flirt with doing that rough bump. If I don't put myself in the spot where I can do it with, and I'm going to take a big topper. If I don't put myself in the right spot, then I can always just pull off to the side and just take the shot off the fairway. But I'm gonna flirt with doing the rough bump, and I want to take a 4 power ball with side spin. Now here's the problem with the 4 power ball. Let's look at the wind one more time. Here's the 4 power. Here's the problem with 4. That might work. That might work. Let me think about that wind. That wind is almost due side wind. Here's the problem, is when you're setting the shot up down here with a 3 power ball, your red line's back here, so you can pull back a little and you can set the ball up here so that when you put on side spin, your ball is going, you're skirting this, and then if you put on a little bit of curl, you're in the clear. But if you bring out a 4 power ball, it pushes your red line forward and you're pinched up, so you have to set the ball up closer, which means your ball guide's running out of here, and you can't really do you can't put on full curl because of the fucking tree that's on the right hand side. So I actually think it might be better. I think I have. I'm not going to take the 4 power ball. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 3 power ball that's got top spin boost and 5 side spin. That one would work. I think this one's got 3 power top spin boost, 4 side spin, 2 wind, 0 wind, 3 wind, 3 wind, and that's backspin. I'm going to take this one right here. The 5 top spin boost, 5 side spin. Now with max top spin, I'm not going to be able to maximize the top or the side spin. But the top spin boost will help me get into that shadow. And I think with the Horizon I will be fine. So I got bag number 3 with a Horizon and a 3 power top spin boost ball to try and get me into that area. Because I should be able to pull back into the zone that I need so that I can really kind of maximize the top spin. You can put some curl. I mean, you can do half, maybe even 3/4 curl. and clear that tree. But if you do a max shot, a max curl shot, you're going to fucking tag it. So I suppose you can bring a 5-power ball out and try and just backspin it in. You can see where the shadow's at. You can't see that front shadow from the overhead picture because that all you're seeing is that tree. So I suppose my opponent's got the right idea. I think I would have set that shot up a little bit more to the right, and then just tried to curl it or side spin, and not pinched myself up so much in that area. That is exactly where I want to be. And that 5-power ball is going to help them on the other side. They'll definitely be able to get in front of the zone. Okay, there's minimum club. I'm going to do 2. It's 2.1 per ring. It's the same as an extra mile at this level. So I'm going to do 2 or 1.5 and a little. I'm going to curl just a little. Oh, and it fucking jumped. I got a little jump right there, a little lag jump, something. Woo! And that's close. That is close. That hitting that grate to the left, it jogged right there, and when I released, I thought it was right at the perfect line, and it jogged over to the left like 2 rings. And damn, there must have been like 1 blade of grass of fairway that I hit, and not that rough on the first bounce. That would have been epic fail. Epic fail. I'm doing 10% to the cup. Times whatever the wind is, divided by 2.2. I got that in my calculator. All I got to do is type in the wind, and it gives me a number. And I'm probably not quite at max club, because I did get a pretty good distance there, but and I found out the other day that this shot, your setup, where the setup is 3.3, 1.65 rings, is that there is enough room to hit a grate to the left. I really don't want to do that, but there is enough room to hit a grate to the left. It's breaking just a little bit right. .65 rings. 165. Hitting it dead center perfect. Get in the hole. It's going to be short. And I over pulled it slightly. So maybe 5%. And I need to run through the cup. I feel like it was going to run out past the cup, so I was leaving it. I wasn't leaving it real short, but it just felt like it was going to roll out. Because if you're coming at it with a sniper and you run it up like that, it tends to roll out past the cup. So I was being a little tentative. I need to run my ball guide all the way through the hole. +5 to cup. We'll see which way the wind's blowing on the back. Probably could have just did that at 1-to-1. 1-to-1, maybe plus 0.1 or something. All right. I really want to pick up that extra shot and take that pressure off myself and shoot better than a 15. That's the best round that I've shot this week, and I've shot 15s this week, but I really would have just liked to have picked the one up. So now we're just like, now we're trying to repeat that again. Now I have to pick up one on the back in order to get. I really believe you're going to have to shoot better than a 30 to have any shot. And I really don't feel like if I shoot a 31, I'm going to win. I just feel like if I shoot a 31, I might get a banner. Maybe. All right, that was the front 9 of the Eastern Odyssey tournament in the weekend round of the rookie division. I will grab a cup of coffee and shoot the back. Thanks for watching, and everybody be safe. Hopefully everybody had a great tournament, and I will see you here in just a bit.